Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, I must be honest and say this wasn't going to be the next story that I was doing, but I was flicking around there, and then this literally popped up. It's timed at 14:50, and it's 14:53. So I mean, it was literally boom, straight. I was just about to start, and bang, it comes up. So literally straight away. Now, it's not big news or anything like that. But what it is an opinion piece. And I've just sort of looked at it. I just glanced at sort of the headline in the first paragraph and that. I went, oh, this is definitely worth a go. Because this is absolutely eviscerating the SNP. And it's saying why they're failing. And I think it'll be, if not educational, it may well be an entertaining piece. So we'll have a quick one at the... Oh, look, another news flash just come up. Tony Bennett, 96. Tony Bennett's died. 96 is a good age. Anyway, no, we'll get into this very quick, just for flick through. I just think it's amusing, and then we'll go back and I'll do the story I was going to do next. Anyway, here goes. So, leaks, levers, and a lack of leadership. Why the SNP is a party coming to an end. It is a sinking ship. I mean, and the iceberg it's hit is a sort of the criminality and incompetence. This admixture of the two that is, present for, ever since Humza Yousaf has taken over. Anyway, the latest battles in the SNP's seemingly endless civil war, featuring WhatsApp sniper Elena Whittam and the Western Isles rebel Angus MacNeil, show that Humza Yousaf has completely lost control of his party. And I'm going to have to disagree with that. I don't believe he ever had control of his party. He doesn't have the cult of personality that Sturgeon had. He doesn't have their respect. He doesn't have their loyalty. They don't look at him as though he's in any way wise or politically useful. He's the man sitting in the big chair, but as far as they're concerned, that chair may as well be empty. He is, if you like, the David Moyes to Nicola Sturgeon's Alex Ferguson. He's come after the show and he's useless. Where she ran a very big, tight ship, he's got a plastic pedalo swan in a boating lake. There really is nothing to compare them. Anyway, we'll go in here. It must be dawning on the nationalists that the party, while not exactly over, is coming to an end. When remembering the years during which Nicola Sturgeon could command the attention of a capacity crowd, rather than police officers, it's very good. It's clear for all to see. Well, he had that haul with, up in Dundee a couple of weeks ago. He only had like 12 men and a dog. Nobody was interested in what he was saying, and he's the leader of their party. Because he's not, is he? He's not a leader. He's the man who sits in the big chair, but he's not a leader in any way, shape or form. Anyway, who could blame a disillusioned nationalist, of which there are many, and growing fast, for getting a bit nostalgic for those more invulnerable times? Not I. It's a funny thing, but after the fall of the communist regime in the Soviet Union, and that all went away, late 91. Although it really began, the rot began in 89, but, finally went in 91. Within a couple of years, people were yearning for the communists to come back. It's weird, isn't it? But I don't think anyone will yearn for the SNP. Not a chance. If this political party were a house party, Humza Yousaf would have assumed hosting duties at about 4 a.m. The popular kids have left, the music is off, someone is being sick in his sink, and all he can look forward to are dry cleaning bills. It's a nice metaphor, that, isn't it? Well, it's fair enough, because, he's making a lot of people sick. While political memories are short, even the most hard-headed nationalist must surely look at today's picture, with sliding polls, quitting MPs, including the party doyen and working-class cosplayer Mary Black, and the acrid cloud of scandal, many scandals, more than one scandal, several scandals, hanging over the SNP, and long for the days of 2015. Do you remember those days? Back when they were new and bright, and they weren't as corrupt and mad as they are now. Not saying they weren't corrupt and mad, but it was just low-level stuff. Everything points to a leadership completely out of control of its own party discipline. Loyal Nats may not like Jackie Baillie, Scottish Labour's impressive enforcer, but they would kick a haggis to death to have someone of her talents on their benches, although they'd never admit it in public. Well, the thing I think about Jackie is this. Anna Sawwar's the Labour leader. And he's doing a very, very wise thing. He's keeping his mouth shut. He's not saying anything that would be divisive, or he's not giving his opposition anything with which they can attack him. He's stepping back. He's staying there. He's keeping his powder dry. He's waiting for his moment. When anything needs to be said, he sends Jackie Baillie out, the attack dog, you know. She does the dirty work for him, and that's okay because she's not the leader, right? He's there. He's the leader. Shit goes down, he's there. But he's trying to retain that distance so that he's letting the SNP do their own dirty work. The SNP are the greatest recruiting sergeant the Labour Party have got. Every time they open their mouths, any of them, it's just more votes to Labour. So why should Anna Sawwar risk anything by saying anything? He's done a good job. And then, of course, you've got Jackie Baillie as well. Anyway, if there is one currently, and they aren't having much luck, two recent incidents in particular point to the SNP's endemic discipline problems. The first is a very public stink that the Western Isles MP and Westminster's most successful long-form improvisation act, Angus Brendan McNeill, has caused. Oh, he's a tosser of the first water when he's not kissing 16 and 17-year-old girls as his wife's laying there pushing out one of his babies. He's off mowing down motorcyclists. And there's more, you know. Mr McNeill had the temerity to criticise the SNP's policy on achieving independence in public and has been expelled from the party's Westminster group and is no mood to come back. While he's always been just the unorthodox and eccentric side, this flagrant departure from the SNP line shows just how weak their discipline is. They threw him out and he said, look, I don't care. You can piss off, I'm not coming back. He doesn't care. And like under Sturgeon, that would never have been tolerated. But what have they done to him? Well, yeah, okay, then bye, Angus. That's it. Wishy-washy. There's no leadership, is there? There's no spine. There's no one putting a bit of stick about. Sturgeon did. Like I say, I hated her politics. But she was a commensurate politician. And she certainly ruled with an iron fist. That woman had discipline. Previously, Mr McNeill would have been kept in line by a robust party machine. His ability and willingness to tell the party just where it can stick its current strategy shows just how wobbly the previously rock-solid SNP's defences are. Oh, they haven't got a clue, have they? If Mr McNeill's conduct wasn't conclusive evidence of Fortress Nat sinking into its own compromised foundations, I would say more sinking into the mire of filth, corruption and incompetence. There is drama around the Alina Whittam, Scotland's Minister for Columbian and Hooch, and her leaked WhatsApp messages, which were brilliant. The point here is not that she called Tory MSP Brian Whittle a prick. It doesn't appreciate. She doesn't appreciate the monarchy, or that she has serious misgivings about the talent and performance of her cabinet colleague Shona Robertson. The crucial fact here is that it happened at all, and that she's still there. They haven't removed the whip. This is fantastic. She's sitting there. She's doing all these things, damaging the party in the eyes of the public, as it were, and they've let her keep the whip. And you've got the most independence MP, or MSP, MP, Angus McNeill, terrible man, but he's the most pro-SNP independence you can get. And they've taken the whip away from him. It's a mad party. When the SNP was in full swing, these damning messages would never have seen daylight. Under Alex Salmond or Nicola Sturgeon, the emerger would have kicked in and the leak would never have happened. A leak such as this against a senior figure in Humza Yousaf's administration is a clear sign that the SNP's discipline, famed and envied by others for years, is faltering. It's not faltering. It's gone. It packed its bags, it's sodded off, and it's living with a woman in Peterborough. I mean, it really is. It isn't there at all. With a year to go until the next Westminster elections, probably November. They're looking at November next year, early November next year. And another two after that until the Scots next go to the polls. Scottish Labour, Scots Tories and the Scottish Lib Dems may well be tempted to observe the lesson often ascribed to Napoleon. Never interrupt your opponent when they're making a mistake. It's true. While the temptation to keep their powder dry will be there, It would behove the unionist opposition to capitalise on the SNP's weaknesses now and try and land the blows that will bleed until polling day. No, no, no. Keep doing nothing until they stop making mistakes. While they keep going as they are, you're just seeing them go down and down and down. You don't need to do anything. As they sink on one side, you rise on the other. And we all know Scottish Labour are going to trounce them in 3 years. The Scottish Tories in particular need a win. They do. They need a win. And to refresh their platform. And ratcheting up the pressure on the Nats could be the way to do it. And of course, here's the thing. If, again, Anna Sawar just sits back, says nothing, lets the Tories rat bag on the Nats, he's sitting neutral, the Nats go down, the Tories go up a little bit, but I mean, he's going to have to face them anyway. And then just before the end and the election's on its way, he can just go out and run onto the Tories. And he'll clean up and he'll take that. I mean, honestly, he's sitting in a perfect zone, Labour, at the moment. They don't know if they could possibly get an absolute majority if it keeps on as it is. Anyway, maybe rather than continuing to crumble like a wet fag in the rain, Mr. Yousaf will realise just how weak his leadership will be and will turn things around. Unlikely, but not unthinkable. And the opposition parties would never forgive themselves if they missed the opportunity, nor would or should their supporters. The best thing, the absolute best thing the opposition parties can do is to not pressure Humza Yousaf too much. Pressure him too much, he may resign. Pressure him too much, the party may ask him to resign. And then, God forbid, you'd be buggered, because if you got someone in who actually knew what they were doing, they may just reflag and sail that ship out of troubled waters. And that's the last thing you want. The longer he stays there, the better. In a previous column for this website, I argued that Humza Yousaf, despite his obsession with her at the time, he was no Mrs. Thatcher. He's not Carol Thatcher, you know. In the time since then, it's gotten even worse. Gotten. We're not American, you know. It's got even worse. Not only has the litany of as the litany of leadership failures and glaring weaknesses shown he's not Margaret Thatcher, his ability to keep the SNP line shows that he's not even Nicola Sturgeon. He's nothing. He is a ghost. He sits in the chair and he looks around and people occasionally glance at him, but they're all having private conversations. Someone's doodling on a notepad, someone over there picking a nose, someone's looking out the window, someone's playing on their phone. Nobody's listening to him. One thing's for sure, his chances of still being First Minister next time round, let alone being the first PM of an independent Scotland, have never been lower. And that is worth a party in its own right. And it absolutely is. Now, this is just a lovely piece. Bit long, I'm sorry about that. But it is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to round up here, come up and we'll finish this video. I think whoever came after Sturgeon was always going to have a hard time. But I think you did need to get someone with a bit of talent. You chose the worst possible person. Someone who can't think on his feet. Someone who hasn't got a clue. Someone who's got very little sort of general knowledge of how things work. And someone who is not aware of the zeitgeist, if you like, the man on the street, what the current feeling is around town. You know, he lives in an ivory tower. He's not there. And of course, all of this combined in one man who is also fairly charmless and a rabid anti-white ist, you know. It's not a good look. And the sooner the party are dissolved entirely, the better. But we don't need really to do anything to do that. They seem to be doing a marvellous job themselves. On the other hand, I am still going to chivvy it along a bit, because I think they're awful. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. And remember, they're all crooks and charlatans. And they need to go. Bye.